We're here now with Ellen Rubin. She's the CEO of ClearSky Data. Ellen, thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure.
So I understand that you're in stealth mode. What does that mean?
So typical startup life is you spend some time designing and developing your product and spending time with customers and partners and figuring out exactly what the market really wants. And while you're doing that, you tend to be pretty quiet because there's not a lot of reason to be out, taking Super Bowl ads and talking to a lot of people. And also it's a good idea, usually from a competitive perspective, not to talk too much about what you're doing until you're ready to go.
So when is the point at which you feel comfortable going public with your idea?
Well, for us, we're going to launch later this year, and very typically there is that point in a company's life where you feel like, okay, it's baked, let's go.
I know you don't want to say exactly what you're working on, but can you speak to what problem you're trying to solve?
My co-founder and I, his name is Laz Vakiridis, he and I teamed up a year ago because we had a lot of similar interests around enterprise IT infrastructure. And for some people that might sound a little boring, but to us it's something we're really passionate about. And what we love is the idea that large companies that have lots of data and lots of infrastructure problems that always just keep getting bigger and more complicated and more expensive, if we can take a fresh look at them and provide something that's really an innovative new thing. So we're focused on data storage, and so IT problems that deal with petabytes of data that need to be managed and how complicated and messy that is.
How do your investors respond to this hush-hush mentality?
From their perspective, their feeling is, come out when you're ready. And in the meantime, it's not like we're sitting around, kind of knitting sweaters, right? Everybody's kind of full on, heads down.
And this isn't your first time at the rodeo. You're kind of a startup veteran.
I just love it. I really love it. And this experience of building something from nothing, taking a white piece of paper and sitting down with some really talented and terrific people and going, what if we could do anything in the world to solve this particular set of problems for these types of customers, what would we do? And the creative experience of that is really great and exciting.
You mentioned your co-founder. How do you build the right team?
You want to make sure that you're both really passionate about the same problems, because whatever you're going to do, you're going to sign up for, could be 10 years. So you're going to have, it's a long-term relationship that you're building with your founder and with your early team. And some of it is just, expertise and the ability to think creatively. So what you're really looking for are people who love to learn and don't get thrown when things don't go as planned, and that they're able to handle, whatever kind of crazy startup, early stuff is going to happen.
What would you advise your newbie startup self?
I was an undergrad, very sort of organized, formal person, and I was a management consultant who then got an MBA, and everything was very structured. In the startup life, all hell's gonna break loose. So,
there are no definite hours.
There's just no right answer most of the time. And so I would have probably told myself to laugh a little bit more at the crazy stuff that happens.
What would you advise someone who's going out on their first startup?
I do a fair bit of mentoring and coaching of younger entrepreneurs. I really like it, and in particular young women, and trying to really, sort of see where I can be helpful from the stuff that I've, experienced firsthand. And I kind of say two things. One thing is the need to build mentors that can help you with particular areas of knowledge and expertise. So not one mentor for everything, but different skills and backgrounds is a huge part of your job and is critical to your success. So surrounding yourself, both officially and formally with advisors and stuff like that, but unofficially is even better, where it's like, pick up the phone. I need help on this problem. Will you sit with me for a half hour? You need that, and it doesn't just happen. You have to spend the time to get to know people and to work with them and stuff like that. So I always encourage people to invest. The other thing too is just things take a lot longer than you think they're gonna take. Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, everybody's thinking it's just magic overnight, but often it's slow and there are stages where things take a lot longer than you expect.
How do you kind of navigate the waters? It's a really hot topic right now, women in entrepreneurship.
There's no question that there are things that are harder and things that they have to make sure that they overcome and stuff like that, but there's just so much desire to mentor, to help, so many resources that are available just out in the community, in the tech world and even just on the internet and stuff like that, that to a large extent, I'd love to shift the conversation more to, it's hard to be an entrepreneur. I don't care if you're a man or a woman.
All right, sounds good to me. Well, Ellen Rubin, thank you so much for joining us, and we are excited to hear about your launch coming soon.
Looking forward. Thanks.